We're good now. I believe we got audio.
All right. Well, welcome to Tennessee Two's Disc Golf Podcast. My power just flickered. Uh, my name is Daniel,
My name is Ethan, and we
and we're
are.
just going to do all of this all the way from the top again. First
Yep.
things first, sincere apologies for last week had not having a podcast at all. It was entirely my fault. Uh, Tuesday, I had a severe migraine, had to stay in bed pretty much the whole night, could not be in front of a computer. And Wednesday, just had a lot to do, a lot going on last week. Thursday, I was packing for a trip, and Friday, I, of course, was not in town any longer. So, really busy week last week. And I'm going to preface this right now that this is anything could happen. We have a lot of stuff to talk about. Could be a really long episode. It could also be intensely short, depending on whether my power stays on in the thunderstorm right now.
Yeah.
You guys, my power has flickered like 3 times now in like the last 3 minutes. So we're doing
Surge
great.
protectors to the rescue.
We're doing great. Yeah, I've got all the surge protectors, but it's not going to protect me from the power just completely wiping.
Yeah.
Uh, so and then of course my router is going to reset. That'll take 10 minutes to come back up. It'll be an adventure.
Yeah.
We'll just call it an adventure. So with that being said, Ethan, take it away.
All right. Well, let's just go ahead and get into it. Where we missed off from last week, we'll go ahead and go over some preserve championship stats. Most of y'all probably already know. For the ones that watch live, you definitely know. For the ones that watch post production, you've definitely had enough time. So we'll start off on FPO with the preserve. Um, we had Paige Pierce coming in first at 19 down. Missy Gannon coming in second, tied with Ella Hansen at 14 down, and Katrina Allen coming in at 13 down in fourth. Um, for the MPO, we had Bradley Williams taking it down at 32 down. Ricky Wysocki at 30 down. Kyle Klein and Simon Lizotte tied at 29 down for third. Um, and there goes his stuff. So, flying
Here we
solo.
are. Can you hear me at least?
I can hear you.
All right. Well, at least we've got, audio. I'll reset the camera here in a second.
Okay.
The severe section of this storm, guys, should pass here in about the next 10 to 15 minutes. So hopefully we can make it till about then, and then we should be in the clear for the rest of the night. Just should be some light rain after that. But we will see. But all I can do is hope and pray. So
You just gotta love tech things. You know, technology is a
it's
great thing.
always
Mother Nature
it's
will
always on
always
podcast
win.
night too,
Mother
every
Nature
time.
will always win. Um,
So I only heard half of what you're saying because the thunder was so loud that it was over cutting your voice.
that's okay.
But
Um,
yeah,
Basically, I just went over um, the placements, the podiums for MPO, FPO for the preserve. Um,
yeah,
it pretty much, Paige Pierce kind of just commanded from wire to wire at the preserve. Um,
yes, absolutely.
and then in MPO, Bradley Williams, he also was wire to wire, but not so easily. Um, he definitely had some people trying to chase him down. There was a lot of threat on his back. We'll put it that way. Um,
Right.
Both
He didn't hold the lead after round one either. He had to technically claw a couple of strokes in there to get the lead as well.
right. Um, yeah, at one point Ricky was up, Simon was up, and in the first round Garrett was up a little bit, right? If I do
We saw
remember.
Klein
Yeah,
up in the lead for a little bit too.
yeah. So,
First real Kyle Klein sighting of the year, which we had been
yep,
hoping for a little while.
absolutely.
Saw some really good things out of him at the match play event, and he kind of just took it and carried it over. So really impressive weekend. Very impressive weekend for Ricky to have had a little bit of a rough first round and claw his way back within just a couple of strokes. An outstanding final round for him.
He was
Wow,
making some of
that
he was bringing it back there at the end when he was chasing down Bradley. Um, he was hitting 65 footers, 45 footers, just left and right. And oh man, watching you like
Bro, the thunder that just struck, I felt it in my chest.
yeah,
Like I literally felt it in my chest.
you're in the heart of the storm. Get
Yeah,
it?
I just right there, right in the middle. The cell is only like 5 or 10 miles wide at the absolute most, and I kid you not, I pulled up radar. Right in the middle of it, smack dab. But back to the good stuff. Interesting stat for anybody who didn't know: when Preserve finished, it finished one day after a full 6 years since the finale of the very first Pro Tour event to ever take place.
At Maple Hill, which
And
was the
for,
Vibram Open.
for anybody who did not know, Bradley Williams and Paige Pierce took that event down.
Yep,
Now, of course, Paige Pierce, many a wins under her belt. Bradley Williams has not had a single other Pro Tour win up until almost to the day 6 years later,
yep,
and he takes down another Pro Tour. That is just, I mean, it's poetry, man. How can you not be a romantic about disc golf?
yeah. It truly is. Um, I mean, it was kind of wild, just a couple weeks ago we were talking about how Simon had broken the record for the longest tenure without a win at what was it, 4 years, and
Yeah.
then you come to the preserve, and then Bradley's like, hold my beer, watch this, he's like,
Check it out.
yeah, 6 hours, or not 6 hours, 6 years, big difference.
Yeah. Just absolutely wild. And it started flashing around on Twitter that we were going to start calling him, Bradley Professor Smooth Williams. I personally prefer Doctor Smooth. I think
Right.
Doctor Smooth sounds a little bit better, but yeah, Professor Smooth, Doctor Smooth, whatever you want to call it. Bradley definitely showed
what was
that he is the doctor of smoothness out
what do
there.
they call Kale then? It's something like that.
Something like that. That's
It's
just, Twitter likes to do what Twitter does, and they
yeah.
don't care about other people's names. They're just going to come up with whatever they sounds good at
It's
the
like,
time and run with it.
you're not
Whatever
wrong.
it is, sounds good.
You were
Send
not
it, ship
wrong.
it,
Yep.
ship it.
You
That's
gotta
it.
you gotta
I
watch
mean, that's
out
all I
with
can
your
tell you.
internet right now with the way you say those words. All right, just
No,
it
no,
was
no, no,
it
no.
put those together just so you know, but
Well, that's all
put those.
right.
He's it's all right.
And he's just gonna have to go back in the audio recording and beep.
Yeah. Gee,
That's
thanks
it.
internet. Um,
Thanks, internet. Thanks, thunderstorm. Couldn't have been timed any better.
yeah. Well, now you look clear. Hopefully it's clearing up. So we'll go
It's
with
not.
that. Um, but yeah, I mean, other than that, that was a cool storyline that came out of the preserve.
Yeah,
Um, there was a lot of people that had chances. Bradley just kind of held him off and played his game, and he came away with the win. Very nonchalantly, too. Um, he did not get excited, really. It was not. For somebody that hadn't won in a long time, he
I mean to
looked
have the.
so calm about it.
I mean, even when he had that throw in there in the final round, it was just kind of like that was me. That
He's
was
like,
that was me. That
yeah,
was that was my disc.
yeah,
That was our basket. That was me.
that was me. Okay,
Me? Are you sure?
right.
Are you sure? Couple of high fives, walked up, and that was it. That was
Yeah,
it.
that was the most excitement that we've seen. Um, yeah, something about just being in the flow. He said he was like in the zone.
Yeah,
Didn't even feel like he was throwing his discs at that moment. So he was
right.
just kind of in his own little mind space, and whatever happened happened. But you got anything
But there
else
you
to
have
add
it.
about the preserve?
No, I mean probably if it was last week, we would have talked about it for a whole lot longer. But
Right.
there's just there's more things to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
That's just what happens. We got to move on,
All right.
continue on.
Well, continuing on, we're going to go ahead and move over into the United States Women's Disc Golf Championship. Um, this was the only women's major, like the major for only women. Uh, the
This is the only women's
right, the
major.
only women's. It was yes. Um, but we got to see someone perform that we haven't got to see perform very well this year. And that was Haley King taking it down at 30 down, 30 under. Um, she played very well, did what she had to
Yeah,
do to pull off a major victory. Um, however, in second place, you had Valerie Mondahano from the chase card that ended up shooting a 9 down second round, or not second round, 9 down fourth round to really, really put the pressure on Haley. Um, however, it just wasn't enough.
I wasn't sure where he was going to go there because he started with Haley win. However,
Yeah,
Valerie plays well. However,
right. It's
I
like
kind of wasn't sure where that last
you just
however was going to go.
gotta build up, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
we'll talk about Val here in a minute, but
yeah.
let's give Haley her limelight before we
Hang
get
on,
too far
I'm
into whatever happened.
running through the podium. It's fine. Um, and then you in third, you had Owen Scoggins coming in at 28 down, and then in fourth, the only reason I'm mentioning this is because she was fourth the week prior as well, and that was Katrina Allen. Um, that was tied with Maria Oliva at 25 down. Uh, now back to Haley. Um, what do you think?
Well, look, I got to be honest. I mean, round 4 was very nervy. She
Mm-hmm.
definitely was not playing her best disc golf of the entire weekend. You could tell there were some nerves. You could tell she knew she was playing for a title and her first major. But she did manage to hold it together uh, at the end. I mean, even on hole 18, she basically got to hole 18 and she knew she didn't have to do anything.
Right.
Um, she just needed to keep it clean and get up and down. And even still, watching her try to get up and down, you could see the nerves that were there. And then she ended up pretty much pinning it and getting the tap in, which was beautiful.
Yes.
But it's it's really exciting, especially considering her performance this year, because we know what she's capable of given that performance she gave us last year, which was outstanding. I think 5 wins at Silver Series or better weighted events. Um, and to get to basically the halfway point in this season and not really have anything to show for it.
Yeah.
Like, she's been non-existent. We know she missed a ton of events with, wisdom teeth and some moving and getting in and out there, but she put it all together this week. She really did.
Yep. She really did. Um, also, did you happen to see like her after win presser in the
I
clubhouse?
don't even. Yeah. I did see a little bit of it. Yes.
So, what did you think about her kind of throwing a little bit of shade at Discraft there?
I
Yeah,
don't
I
think
don't know
much
if
of
you've
it
seen that.
because yeah, I don't think much of it because honestly she's been throwing shade at Discraft since she left. Pretty much immediately as soon as she left, there were some shade comments here, there, and
Right.
of the other. And there was a lot of, speculation that she left based on some form of a Discord and that it may have been player based. Some people were kind of speculating it might have had something to do with Paige. I don't really think so. the one thing we know about Paige is that whether she's winning or whether she's losing, she is very supportive of her competitors. She's out there to have fun and she supports you win lose. Whether she wins, she's supportive. She's a lot like Owen with a little bit more hard shell demeanor.
Right.
She's very supportive, and I just don't think that there was any discord between Haley and Paige
I
that
don't either.
really I think that maybe you kind of saw a little bit of Haley maybe had a little bit of a similar feeling at um at Discraft, maybe what we saw Chris Dickerson leaving Prodigy. You know,
Maybe.
there was somebody else. They were getting the attention, um, and she had proved herself good enough in 2021 to receive a similar type of attention, or at least maybe an uptick in the contract or the deals or how her sponsorship was playing out, and maybe they didn't offer it.
Right.
But yeah, not surprised by the shade at all. Maybe a little bit surprised that it's coming out again this late in the season, but
Yeah. That's kind of. I think she just now finally got her limelight to to, to do it live. Honestly, you
right.
know what I mean. I think that's kind of where it came out. Um, but with her getting that off of her chest, do you think that that motivates her moving forward after getting this win, getting that out in front of her, letting it be known, and just playing disc golf? Do you think that
Um,
she has a chance to win again this
I
season?
think I don't know that it really it was so much of a getting it off her chest. I feel like there's more of a she needs to prove to herself again, all over again,
Yeah,
that she's the disc golfer that deserved what she wanted from Discraft and wasn't getting.
yeah.
And now she's done that, and I do think she can move
I feel
forward.
like
I
that
don't know
that
that
kind of
it's
like saved herself, so to speak.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know that she necessarily like it was, the weight of Discraft on her. I think it was her own weight on her
yeah,
in light of what happened
yeah.
with Discraft. That she needed to prove to herself again that she is exactly who we all think she is. And she's done that. And I think that she is going to move forward from this and be a lot less nervy overall out there. Um, Play some more consistently clean rounds and start seeing her in the top 10 very consistently as opposed to moderately consistent.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Um, where I guess we can go ahead and talk about Val a little bit. Um, where we seen Haley start to struggle a little bit in the final round.
Mhm.
Uh, Val put on a performance. Um, we all know by now that Val has got that. She's got the stuff. You know what I mean? Like she's
Right,
got the blood in the water. I'm coming. It's she's got that mentality, and you can tell by the way that she's playing that she's not friends with anybody. Like she is on her way to winning, and
right.
you don't see that very often. Um, especially in the FPO field. I absolutely love it. I love it because Paige can be like that too. We've seen her in the past like that.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, if we think about Val and the round that she was putting together there for a while, with that 7 streak of birdies
Yeah, that
on the
was.
front nine moving into 10, you and I had kind of talked about it when we were watching a little bit of it together, where my thought process when I was watching it and kind of watched the stall that she had after that
Mhm.
was she was in a really good battle. She was having fun out there. I feel like she was trying to match play and, take a podium finish away from Katrina. And I cannot confirm that this is what happened. Obviously, I wasn't there, but
Well, she talked about it in the after interview.
I think she basically got to the point where she checked the score and realized, oh my, I'm not just having a good round. I have a chance to win right now.
Yeah.
and she stalled out. She psyched herself out a little bit. If you if I were to say that without 100% confirmation that that's 100% what happened, because she kind of glided over it in her presser as opposed to like really stressing that that's what happened. If she didn't look at a scorecard for the rest of that round, there's a distinct possibility that she shoots at 13, 14 down
Yeah,
and
and
wins.
she said that her whole game plan was to shoot 12 down to win the tournament. Like she said, if I can shoot 12 down, I think I can win. Which she would have been right. She shot 9 down, came in second. If she gets to that 11
Sure,
down, who knows what would have happened, you know?
sure.
Because then Haley could have went more aggressive on 18. You just, there's so
Yeah.
many possibilities. That's not
On the
saying
other,
that Haley wouldn't have won because she
yeah,
definitely left strokes out there
because yeah, and on the other side of the coin is that Haley started to pick it up and play much more cleanly.
on the
Um,
back nine.
yeah, on the back nine. So it's not to say that maybe Haley checked the scorecard and realized Owen wasn't the only competition and that
Yeah,
she had two people that she needed to fend off, and that maybe lit a little bit of a fire under her, and Owen kind of stalled out in her own way a little bit there on the back nine as well, which gave a little bit of extra room for Haley. There's nothing to say that if Valerie did not, take a couple of those bogeys there, that Haley wouldn't have gone a little more aggressive for some of those birdies. We know she left some putts a little bit short. She had a couple of decent bids at an eagle opportunity in a couple of different situations that she might have been a little more aggressive had
yeah.
Valerie, taken a legit outright lead, and she saw that.
I mean, we've seen her doink 2 eagles.
Yeah.
She made 2 eagles, but she also doinked two. So
Yeah.
there's another 2 strokes that could have. I mean, she was on circle's edge, barely in circle two for those. Those are very
Yeah.
possible makes for her. One thing I want to talk about is like how good was Own scrambling. Own had some amazing par saves. Okay, yeah, granted she had a few birdie saves, but like her par saves, scrambling for par, I would like to know what her scramble percentage actually was, but it had to be good. Some of her scramble shots were like super impressive, to say the least. Um,
She she netted a 69% scramble percentage over the entire weekend.
that's really good for 4 rounds.
Yes. And then on day 3 and day 4, day 3 was 100% scramble, day 4 was a 75% scramble. The only one she didn't get was hole 9 on day 4.
Yeah.
And now, one of the things you have to remember about the scrambling percentage is that scramble percentage technically only tracks
If
throws
you're
that are
off the
considered
fairway,
off the fairway.
right,
Now, when you play some of these courses, you can be in a really bad spot
and
and
still be
still
in the
be
fairway.
carded in U.W.D.G.C on the fairway. So this percentage does not necessarily 100% reflect the actual scramble percentage she had, but officially she had a 69% scramble.
Yeah, because like the one on hole 12, where she had to, she spent like 5 minutes trying to get into that bush to her disc. Um,
Yep.
that was a great shot. Uh, it truly was. I don't even. She had to really, really, really get down into the tree, find a way over the limb, and somehow
Uh,
maintain balance to reach back.
I'm thinking, are you thinking hole 15?
I think it was hole
The par
12.
the par 4? It was a par 4, right?
Mm, I don't remember. I
That was where she went left off into that bush and she had to flick a
I think this one.
flexi
It
forehand and pinned it.
yes.
Yeah. So that was 15
Okay,
because 12 was a par 3 and
gotcha.
she hit circle 1.
So that was
She
a
pinned it.
drivable par four. Cause somebody drove into it. What was it? Val and Katrina. I think they were
Yes.
the ones that drove into it. Yeah, seems like that. Um, Another thing,
Maybe.
yeah, another
I don't
thing
know.
that I wanted to bring up about the USWDGC was a woman by the name of Sai Anada.
Ananda.
Yes. Um, 66 holes, bogey free. That was impressive.
My,
It beat any other woman by almost a full day. It was by 14
yeah.
holes.
Now, a lot of you might hear that stat and say, "Well, look at the scores out there. It was a scoreable course, of course. Like
Yes.
somebody had to. It's surprising that somebody didn't go the entire weekend without bogeying, considering how easy the course was." Well, yeah, sure, that's true. But you also have to consider when you play courses like this, where you have some of these really, really wooded courses, all it takes is one really good throw that catches an unfortunate tree kick, and that's a bogey, or
Yep.
even a double bogey,
Yep.
or it takes a nasty roll away on a green, and there you go, that's a bogey. Like, just because a course is really scoreable doesn't mean that there isn't any danger.
Yep.
And, to get as far as she did without taking a bogey is really impressive.
Yeah. I mean, she made it till hole 10 on the final round
Yeah.
before carding a bogey. And she gave it a run to save her par. She had to hyzer around that tree.
That was a wild line that that she was lining up there. It
Yeah.
was kind of funny to watch. I was like, if
Yeah.
this goes in, this will be electric.
Oh, it would be. It would have been electric. um, but yeah, just shout out to her. A lot of people were giving her comparisons to Alden Harris. Probably because of the whole might take a lot of pars, but no bogeys type
Yep,
mindset. Um, so who knows? If she can continue to play clean in some of these harder courses, we may be seeing her name squeak up towards the top more often.
absolutely. I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but of course, we got to bring up that the Katrina Allen saga because it continues. It's just
Yep.
we're at this point, we're just a broken record where it's just this weekend was a little bit different. It wasn't that she necessarily had any one really bad round. If I had to say, it was round three, the first round at Elver Park. Um, she shot a six down, which is not bad, but it was not competitive to what the leaders threw day three. Um, and then, day four, she looked like she was going to make another run on it and cooled off at about a very similar time to when Valerie cooled off, and ended up with a five down on day four. But it's a very, very similar story where she's just kind of starts to make a run on the final day, but it's just not enough.
Yeah. Whereas before, it was enough. It was enough because it was just her and Paige.
Yeah, yeah, and
And
then
it's
Paige
not
was
like that
nowhere to be
anymore.
seen.
She was actually down in 21st. Uh, sorry.
If you're gonna sit there like 21st is being seen,
I just had to put it out there. Okay. Yes,
no, she
she
was there, but
finished.
she was nowhere to be seen. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Anytime you see Paige walking with the lead card, you know it didn't go well. That's just either she didn't play or it didn't go well.
Yeah.
Um,
I had a weird feeling that it was gonna happen, and I don't know if my mind was just like, oh well, there's gonna be like a little winner's hangover, or it was just a whole week of Twitter just saying Paige has never fit or hasn't finished worse than second in a major since 2017, and I mean I read 5 billion posts that said that, and every time I read one, I was like, it just like I'm not rooting against her, but it just made me feel like this is it. It's
right.
finally happening.
What
It's gonna happen. I don't know why, but it's gonna happen.
So one of the things that I was gonna bring up about Paige is, uh, how much do you think that it took a toll on her doing the practice rounds and the commentating for Jomez? Because
I
even on the practice rounds, she wasn't throwing, neither her nor Kona. Um, were throwing on the practice rounds. Um, Granted, yes, they walked the course, but they were still like commentating other players' shots. Um, and like Big Germ has said, and like Yuli has said, doing that is a privilege, but it also takes a toll on your rest and your preparation.
Yeah, I can't say anything. Um, and the only reason I say that is the sample size is too small for me. I try to make really bad takes and arguments when I have a sample size that it supports what I'm saying. If I can say, well, if you look at this and this and this, this is why I'm saying this, but I don't have a sample size. It was one time, one event. I can't say that it compares to the 7 other times that she did it. Is it
Right.
consistently over the course of the 7 times that she's done it is playing poorly? No, it was one event, and she's had events that were poor like this, without having commentating.
Yeah.
It's too isolated for me to say it really affected her,
It was just so much
but I'm
more.
sure it did.
I would
Yeah,
assume so, just because I mean it's a major. But side note, I really enjoyed it. Like I really enjoyed both her and Kona's practice round commentating. I thought they kept it interesting. Uh, it was a good watch. Um, and their Jomez, I had watched it live, right? But I wanted to see
yeah,
how their commentating was as a team, and I honestly think that they did very well.
yeah.
I They make a good team together doing that. Um, so who knows? We may end up seeing something else like that again. I don't know because Jomez usually does not get any women coverage, and
Right.
I was curious why GK Pro didn't get the this coverage because they had paid for through the Disc Golf Pro Tour. Do you think that do you think Innova hired Jomez for this?
Um, I mean, I can't say that they necessarily would have, and if we're being completely honest, if Innova hired Jomez directly to do something like this, I think it's a little bit of a weird choice to have Paige and Kona commentate.
Yeah, both of them leaving.
Yeah. So that's an interesting topic, an interesting conversation to have. Um,
Yeah,
but
I was
no,
curious because I mean, GK Pro is built around skins and FPO.
yeah.
Um and with Jomez getting this major, it was either the PDGA. I don't know who, like if there was a bidding process or if they had asked somebody. I truly don't know.
Well, I mean, GK Pro still took Chase Card,
Right,
and
but
then PDGA technically was Ace Run Pro, if we're gonna call credit out.
Ace Run Pro
Um,
did FA1, right?
yeah, they did a lot of the amateurs and youth,
Yes.
basically.
Yes. So shout out to
Um,
Ace Run Pro, by the way, for that.
yes,
Thank you for doing coverage of that because that's stuff that we needed to see.
yes. So with all that being said, if you really think about it, the only people who actually missed out on a major portion of coverage was Gatekeeper.
Gatekeeper.
So it might have even been that it was an agreement that GK Pro and Jomez were able to come up with between each other, but I couldn't tell you. It's really hard to say because the other thing you have to remember is that although Disc Golf Network might have certain contracts in place, this is not a pro tour event. It
Right.
was a major. So it could mean that those contracts are not in place. So then, like you had mentioned previous, that it could have just been some sort of a bidding war. Uh, but it's really hard to say. They didn't give us the whole down and dirty
Right.
in
I
info.
I was just kind of curious. Thought we might speculate on it a little bit. It's one of those things that we will probably not know. um, but it was
Yeah,
something that I was curious about.
for all we know, it could be there could be something else interesting related to it, where maybe Jomez and GK Pro came up with an agreement between each other because both of these contracts were multi-year, if I remember correctly,
Right.
for the coverage that they're getting. So maybe Jomez gets lead card this year, GK Pro gets lead card next year. You know,
And maybe they do something like that. Or I do know GK Pro is going out to the Sula Open, and Jomez is not.
sure,
So maybe something like that too.
yeah,
But you
could
would
could
think
just
that the
be
you would think that the major would kind of reign priority on that.
yeah. I don't know. I just in terms of some of these post-produced companies, they probably work a lot closer with each other than we really realize.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, Jomez owns most of Gatekeeper, so I mean, it's really those guys versus GK Pro and Ace Run Pro. So
Yep, and Central Coast. Give them a little bit of credit.
I don't. I mean, yeah.
They haven't had quite the success this year
Well, and a lot
overall,
of
but
that's
they
due to Ian being a huge part of the commentating booth.
yeah, but I mean, I think Central Coast has been responsible for most of what the post-produced rounds for Pro Tour.
Yeah, they you can definitely tell when it is them, because of the slow turnaround.
Yeah. So whenever they have the Pro Tour page YouTube
Yes.
channel, that's generally Central Coast.
Yep. You can always
Yeah.
tell when it's Gatekeeper and when it's Central Coast. You can tell
Yeah, I don't know.
because yeah, because the graphics, for one, um,
Yes.
that's the dead giveaway, and then the timetable also, which is that's not that big a deal, but still you can tell.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
I still disagree. I think it is a big deal. I think it's generally just for the most part unacceptable to have final rounds not being posted on YouTube until or the first rounds not being posted on YouTube until the final rounds going live,
yep.
you know, like what we got a few tournaments ago. But again, I don't know who to blame for that. I don't know if that's backups on the Pro Tour side or if that's Central Coast that's having the issues, or
If it's on
we don't have a finger to point because we don't know who's causing it.
I mean, it's kind of like, um, it's under their channel. You know what I mean? So it's their
Yeah.
responsibility.
Yes. And if you have a contract with somebody to make a product and they're not making a product in
It's
a timely
on you to
manner,
figure that out.
yeah,
Yep, I agree.
it is what it
Um,
is.
so
One
hearing
more
about,
person
oh, okay,
one
go
more
ahead.
person I want to talk about before we get to any farther away from WDGC. Um, Evelina.
Yeah,
Let's talk about it.
she's one of the best throwers of the disc.
Yes. I mean, in terms of throwing, she, as per mostly usual, put on an absolute show this weekend.
Absolutely.
Um, and on the other side of the coin, for 3 rounds, she put on a pretty decent clinic in terms of putting.
Yeah, not bad at all. But the fourth round came around, and
And
it was a different story. It was a different Evelina. I, it's
it's
so
not
hard to
even
see.
it's
It
not
really
just like
is.
she yeah, and it wasn't even just like there was a mechanical issue or there was a like it was literally the person who walked up to a putt in round 3 was not the same person that was walking up the putts in round 4, and it was visible.
Yeah,
Everything was visible.
and we have talked about this before. We like it when everyone's playing well. Okay, that's just good disc golf is great disc golf to watch. So when we see someone struggling like that, it is hard to watch. It's hard not to feel bad for that person. Um, we got to see it firsthand, at the Music City Open. it was hard. I and I can only imagine what it would be like to be in her shoes. But what doesn't make any sense to me is like you said, the first 3 rounds, she looked like she had her put back. It looked like she was back. She still was doing her same hyzer putt, but like she was hitting metal, and consistently dropping them in. And in that fourth round, a lot of times she wasn't even hitting metal.
Yeah. I mean, a lot can be said about it, but it was just it's pretty obviously a pure lack of confidence. You
Yeah,
know, um, she she played 3 rounds of, and this is for any of you younger players or people who are struggling with your putting game. This is important, I think. So listen up. She played 3 rounds of walking up to her putt and thinking, "I'm making this putt." And then she walked up to most of her putts in round 4 and said, "How can I limit the damage if I miss this putt?"
yeah,
And then it no longer was about making the putt. It was, if this misses, how can I lose the least amount of strokes possible? And as soon as you walk up with that mentality, it's already over.
you've already lost.
Absolutely.
Yep, I agree. I agree on that note for sure. Boy, I tell you what, we cruised through some stats right there. That was that was good. 2 tournaments, 48 minutes. Not
Killing
bad.
it.
Not bad. Well, 40,
Killing
41 minutes of recording.
it.
I stopped and started and
30,
stopped and started when we restarted.
35 minutes actual content.
So for all of the people that's made it this far into the actual audio version of this, the beginning of this episode, I will probably not go back and change. So just this is our apology. Just tech issues with weather. Yeah,
Yeah.
it won't be that bad though, because of
No.
we basically took it from the top. Um,
Nah.
However, in like 2 minutes, um, Ricky Wysocki is going to be throwing out the first pitch.
Probably already has actually.
Was it at 7 o'clock Central? I thought it was 8 o'clock Eastern. Wait, that would be 7 o'clock Eastern or 7 o'clock Central.
I don't know. I'll look it up.
Yeah, look it up. I'm sure we'll see it all over the social medias tonight and tomorrow.
When it does happen. Yeah, they're already in the 5th inning. Where were you?
All right, so
Yeah, so that was a minute ago.
what, about 6 o'clock then? My time, 7 o'clock
Yeah,
your time.
about and probably even 10 minutes or so before that, because usually they get
Yeah.
that first pitch out of the way.
Do they? So this is how little that I watch baseball. But do they show that on television or no?
No,
I didn't think so.
almost never. The Sometimes on like national televised games like ESPN and Fox, where it's like you are watching this game no matter where you live.
Yeah.
Sometimes, especially if the person throwing it out is really high profile, which, no offense, Ricky, you just don't fit that mold. But more often than not, no. Like, for those of you who don't know, I'm a San Francisco Giants fan. And in terms of my general NBC Sports Bay Area channel that plays them regularly, never watch first pitch ever. The only time I can remember watching a first pitch in any given season is like opening day. A lot of times, because there's a lot, they'll start the broadcast an hour early, go through the opening day ceremonies, and part of that is including the first pitch.
Right.
And that's about it. But unless it's nationally televised with a high profile character, you almost never see it on TV. But
Nice.
people generally record them and post them on their own profiles all the time. That is extremely common.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
sure there will be plenty of it. I'm sure Dynamic Discs will have something posted within the next
like
hour.
for example, if you're talking, you might say, well, what classifies as like a high profile first pitch being thrown out? what would be one that got nationally televised? Well,
Like Brad
as
Pitt.
you know, no, no, like really high profile. So like in nine
How is
eleven,
Brad Pitt not really high profile?
listen to me. After 9/11, the Yankees game, President George Bush threw out the first pitch. That was nationally televised. That's the kind of high profile we're talking about. It's not just like, oh, he's an actor, he's famous, or he's a famous comedian, or he's a really good singer, or whatever. No, we're talking like the president throws out the first pitch, that'll be on television, 100%.
Right, that's it.
Um,
So there's one person.
no, I mean they've done it for some other people before, but if they do it for somebody who's like Brad Pitt, it's because Brad Pitt's throwing out the first pitch for a charitable reason or something like that. There's a
Got you.
reason he's promoting something that's not selfish. It's not like he's throwing his first pitch. His movie comes out tomorrow. It would be like he is supporting he
Yeah,
is supporting Haiti because of the recent earthquakes that destroyed, or those kinds of
right.
things. So
I
generally,
got you.
those are the ones that get on TV.
Yep.
But I can't wait to see the video. I really hope he threw a strike. I don't know
I
what
do
his
too.
baseball
I
history
hope he.
is
Yeah, I hope he did too. Surely he's been practicing.
because I got
Um.
because I got to be honest. There's nothing more embarrassing than being the person who throws a bad first pitch on Twitter.
Oh yeah, that's got to be rough.
Uh, then
Apologies to
did you
our
ever?
viewing audience. You are now seeing the northern lights on Daniel's side of the screen. Um.
Yeah, I had another batch of lightning and thunder just pass over a
Yeah.
minute ago.
Um. So yeah. Uh.
Did you ever see the videos of 50 Cent throwing out the first pitch for a Mets game?
No.
I kid you not, it came out of his hand towards the dugout.
No.
That one got. I think that the video of his first pitch probably has like millions, like 50 million views or something on a couple of videos. So you don't want to be
That's
that guy. At
no.
least get it close.
No one wants to be that guy. But I would still do it. I think I
Oh,
could at least
I'm
get
not
it
scared.
close to the plate.
I
Jesus,
know
even under
I could
that
throw
kind of pressure.
I could throw a strike. I'm probably even throwing a curveball. For being honest,
Never know. You never know.
you
Um,
never know. Maybe at a minor league game, we'll start there. Because
yeah,
if you embarrass yourself on the first pitch at a minor league game, that's fine.
yeah.
Whatever.
Hey, just you never know. Maybe the Nashville Sounds will pick up Tennessee Twos one day, and we'll just go out there and I'll be the catcher, you be the pitcher, and I'll pretend to miss it and make it your fault. Sounds like a great idea.
I'm out.
No, and
No.
neither is the batter.
That's You don't know that. I might have some nasty stuff. I got the junk.
The junk,
I got
like
the
old
junk.
Greg with the funk.
You never seen my bacon sizzle.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. That's yeah.
Uh,
All right. Moving on.
mm,
You want to play a
so
disc
after that
guessing
interlude,
game before we get into more news?
sure.
Kind of
I mean, I'm
just
always down for a disc
just
guessing
yeah,
game.
just split it up real quick.
Just a
Um,
little shum shum.
yeah. So I I have the disc that I want to use, and I am ready for you to start guessing ugh, at any time.
I'm ready.
All right, and go.
Innova,
No.
did you start a timer?
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, MVP,
No. I'll,
trilogy.
I'll give you a little buffer. No. And
Okay. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Discraft.
yes.
Okay. Um, mid range,
No.
driver.
Yes.
Paul Macbeth series,
No.
overstable,
Mm.
stable,
Yes.
distance,
Yes. This is no control.
control. Uh, 9 speed,
No.
8 speed,
No.
10 speed,
Uh, 11 speed. I'll give you that.
I don't even know any 11-speed drivers off the top of my head.
You do.
Crank?
We were talking about it. No,
We were talking about it today
yesterday.
or this weekend? Yesterday. God bless. Dun, 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 dun. Great. Not a grace. Duh. What am I talking about? I'm dumb. I'm dumb.
And that's it. One more
Hmm.
question, and you can get this. Just it's there.
And it's 11 speed.
Correct. I'm double checking just to make sure. So don't ask anything yet, but
All right. There we go.
because I do want to make sure. Yes, it is 11 speed.
Hmm. Discraft 11 speed. Did a player use it as a Tour Series disc this year?
Correct, yes.
Man, yesterday was so long ago. That drive home felt like 3 days.
I can imagine.
11-speed driver.
Yep.
Stable.
Yes.
Nothing is coming to my mind.
You can do it.
Um, I don't know why I can't think of it.
You got so many questions right.
I'm trying to think of what we talked about yesterday, and it is not coming to my mind.
So you got it right. You got it narrowed down with a driver,
Did
the
we
speed,
talk about it like on the course yesterday?
both actually.
Then I don't know that it's whatever it is. I don't remember it being an 11 speed.
Well, do you have a guess?
No.
Okay. Well, it was the surge.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right.
Yep. It's 11.5 negative 1.3, which is a very. I don't think it's got a three
Yeah,
fade, but it's fine.
yeah. It's overstable. See, but
It's not.
I didn't know that. I thought the surge was like a negative 2.2.
Well, the Surge SS is.
Yeah, yeah, but
You would
I
if
thought the
you would have said
regular
Surge
surge
or
was.
Surge SS, I would have gave it to you.
I need to give it. No,
Yeah.
no, it wasn't there. It was
Yep.
not
That's okay.
the
Sometimes the
surge.
recollections are just not there.
I've never thrown a surge, so
It used to be my
that's just
favorite disc.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I probably should have remembered it because you said that exact line yesterday.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know why I didn't know that surge was 11 speed either. It's basically it's a wraith clone,
Yeah.
quote unquote.
Yeah. Don't ask me. I'd have said it was a 13 speed then.
That 13 speed wraith, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I was
All right,
pretty
I got one for
confident on
you.
that one. All right.
Mine's way easier than yours though.
But that one wasn't that hard, really. You made it harder than it
Yeah.
had to be.
So that's just because I didn't know that the surge was an 11 speed.
Yeah. I mean, it happens. It happens. It
I thought that
wasn't like it was a skeeter or something.
no, no. I thought the surge was like a 9 speed.
Right. And it
Why? I couldn't tell
when
you.
you say distance, yeah, 11. I kind of cut control off at 9, 10, 11. That's kind of like my control area. Um,
I call it, I cut it at 10.
yeah,
But it depends. If you use the word control, I give it to you.
yeah,
Distance is like 12 and up.
That's kind of where I'm
Control
at.
9 through 11, and fairway is 8,
Yeah,
7,
six,
and
seven,
certain
eight, six and a
fixes.
half, 7, 8. It's yeah.
Now, if you're like Innova, where you don't use the word control, it is fairway and then distance, then the distinguisher is 9 speed. So once you
Mm-hmm.
hit 10, it's a distance.
Right. That's because they had the orc. It was kind of like what changed the game at a 10 speed because nothing was ever that fast.
Yeah.
Fun fact. But yeah, I'm ready whenever you are. You just let me know when to
All
go.
right.
Bum, bum,
In
bum,
7,
bum.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Putter.
No.
Mid range.
No.
Driver.
Yes.
Fairway driver. Oh, it's one of those.
Uh,
Control driver. Fairway driver. 9 speed.
no.
10 speed.
Yes.
Okay. Innova.
No.
Discraft.
No.
MVP.
No.
Trilogy.
Yes.
Sapphire.
Yes.
Nice.
Told you yours was easy.
Yeah. Sapphire is a good disc. You crushed that thing.
I still don't know how I did that, man. I've watched that video 10 times. And every time I watch it, I'm like, how did it do that? Like, like
It's a
how
great
did it?
disc.
It was almost to the ground when it decided that it wanted to flatten out and keep gliding. And I'm actually a little upset about it now that I watch it back, because from my point of view, when I watched it, it was like saw it and it was fading, and then I lost it in the trees, and I was like, oh, that's parked, bro.
I was like,
If
it
it's not
kept
short,
going.
it's parked. And you were like, that's so deep, bro. And I'm like, is it? And then I watched the video and I'm like, wow, that was an accidental smash.
It's
I,
true.
I
It
basically I
so
tried to throw a 350-foot turnover backhand with the Sapphire, and I got it to 350, and then it was like it was anning, and then it just flattened out and just went another 60 feet, and I was like, ooh.
yeah. But you know, it for a 10 speed disc, it's an absolute smash. It's got great stability.
Yeah,
And the glide on it is so good. Uh, yeah, the glide is so good.
yeah.
I truly
How
think that it
like
is a
and
6.
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Stop it!
Mhm.
I didn't tell you to repeat timer,
And
jerk.
Sophie, that's all right. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for
Thanks
coming
for
in.
stopping in and saying hi.
Yeah. Um,
Appreciate you.
all right. So now that we got that done, we will go ahead and preview the Idlewild. Um, they call it the LWS Open, right? At
Yes.
Idlewild. So has it always been the LWS Open, or
No, they purchased the rights to it recently.
okay? That's what I was wondering because I don't remember that from last year, but I also don't know that I ever called it anything but Idlewild. So
Yes. I believe it's what LWS Tax and Accounting Firm is, I
yeah,
believe, who they are.
that they're a law firm, correct? The insurance? No, maybe it's the insurance. I see it on some players like jerseys. The LWS. I think it's on Ricky's jersey. Um, so
Yeah.
we can go ahead and go into it a little bit. I do like how
Yeah.
UDisc
I'm
is
pretty sure
talking about
it's
the media coverage now. That's cool.
it's a tax. Yeah, it's a tax and accounting firm.
Mm-hmm.
I was right. Because if you actually go to their website, LWS Tax and Accounting, you can see Ricky Wysocki on their page
Well,
or
I
on their
was right
website.
that it was on his jersey then. Nice.
100%. But yeah, they're out of Springfield, Ohio. They put in a really good bid for this event. I remember listening to the whole podcast about it. I can't remember whose it was. But they did a whole episode with somebody. And they talked about who they are and what they do and yada yada yada. And they were
I
just really
see.
excited to
I remember
bring
that too.
they were just excited to bring big money to disc golf and bring
Yeah.
a large pot, and try to continue to grow the sport in that way. And
Yep.
I'm excited for it. I haven't looked at what the total payout pot is for the event,
I
but
haven't. I haven't looked at that either. Um, tournament website. Um, looks like it's going to be a really good weekend for it. 83 degrees, 10-mile-an-hour wind. We'll see how long that actually holds up. But
right.
as of right now, it sounds great. Um,
Good luck.
any kind of for some reason it will not pull that up, but it's okay. Any kind of predictions that you have going forward? Um, any kind of uh Kyle Klein, coming back as the uh previous winner, trying to uphold anything now that we've seen a showing out of him, or some we've
Um,
never had consecutive winners here, so do you think
no.
that holds true?
I don't know. I don't know. I think that a name to watch out for is going to be Chris Dickerson.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it'll be interesting to see how he performs. I'm personally betting that he's going to come out looking really refreshed.
Yeah.
He's going to look like he hasn't lost a step. But it could also be the complete opposite. He could have a really slow start out there, and it could be that you could tell he's taking a break from some competitive disc golf for a little while. You know what I mean? It's possible
Right.
either way. But I think you should definitely watch out for him. He's definitely going to make a run. Um, look out for Paul Macbeth. Uh, I don't have a good reason for it. He hasn't done anything to show me that he's going to be competitive out there. I just have a feeling.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I just
sometimes
got a
that's all
feeling.
you take, all it needs. Um, my personal feeling is watch out for Corey Ellis because this is Corey Ellis like style. He did well last year at Idlewild.
Yeah.
I don't know if he tied for second or tied for third last year at Idlewild with Andrew Marweed.
Well, you bet your booty I can find out.
Yeah. Did maybe Kyle
Continue.
Klein and Marweed went into a playoff? It's been so long ago, I don't remember. But I know
They
there
sure
was
did
some.
go into a playoff.
They did.
Yeah, they both finished at 25 down.
Okay. Seems like I remembered something like that. So
Playoff
maybe,
lasted 2 holes. Kyle birdied both, and Marweed birdied the first and bogeyed the second.
yep. And that's that. Um,
Tis
but
what
yeah,
it
maybe
is.
Marweed makes an appearance. It would be nice to see him back. I'd like to see him
Yeah.
bring the cookie out, get some confidence, and just roll out guns a
Roll
blazing.
out. Autobots. Roll out. Corey Ellis finished ninth last year.
Oh, okay. I thought he finished higher. Hmm. I must be
Yeah.
thinking of a different tournament.
So watch out for Kevin Jones. It's one of the weird courses where it doesn't seem like it would be a grenades haven, but he shows us every year that he can do it.
Yep, you're right. And Kevin Jones, slowly but surely, has just been creeping his way back into the headlines, back into the top 10, back into the top 5, back, you know what I mean? Like, he's just consistently gotten just a squeaky bit better every event or so. You know what I mean? Like, it's
Yeah,
just enough.
just a little bit.
And
Yeah.
he's we no longer can say that he's had a bad season, right? It's just it's not the season up to par like we would have thought.
No, I'm still comfortable saying he had a bad season, or he's having a bad season.
Mm, I don't
Best
know.
finish is third at Jonesboro.
That's pretty good.
Sure, it is. But then you also have to consider that he's gone 21st, 24th, 23rd, 17th, 22nd, 17th, 34th, 44th, 21st, 6th at Beaver State, and then
Woo.
16th at Preserve.
Yep. So it's really like the past 3, 2.
Just one Beaver State. I mean, Preserve wasn't really impressive in my mind for the
Yeah.
course. The way that course plays and his game style, it should have been a glide to top 10 for him
Yeah.
in my mind. And he fell short of that.
He did
Now,
well in match play.
so
That's what I
yeah,
was thinking.
and yes, he did very, very good. But again, an understable disc hyzer flipper at elevation.
Yeah. That makes
You
sense as
know,
well.
one of those things. Now some of you might look at me and be like, "Well, I mean, he's ninth in point standings, but yeah, he's literally only missed the Open at Tallahassee.
Yeah.
He has played every event, every single one.
Yeah.
But it, I don't know. He's just
Yeah, maybe
he's
it's
not
just
really there.
not been what we've wanted.
He's just been focusing on so many things this year. I think he's accidentally stretched himself a little too thin. Maybe a little bit similar to what we kind of saw at Paul Macbeth last year, where he had so much going on with foundation and
Yeah.
his foundation, and he just stretched himself too thin, and he only got himself centered really at the very end. Um, and hopefully, Kevin Jones gets a chance to really center himself and bring himself back into the mix because disc golf is better when he's playing well.
You're right. It truly is. Um Now, as far as who do you think, give me your top 3 and then a dark horse
A top of three.
for NPO. I'm going to write these down.
Write them down, cowboy.
Baby,
Write them
write
down.
these down.
Baby, write them down. Okay. Chris Dickerson wins.
Okay.
Paul Macbeth takes a second. Maybe in a playoff, maybe not. I don't know.
Okay.
And Kevin Jones somehow sneaks up into third with all of his grenades in a course that really seems like it shouldn't work.
All right.
A dark horse. A little darky horse. Da 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 da. Isaac Robinson.
That's such a smart one. I feel like he should be dark horse. He is for now, but not long.
I mean, third place at Portland,
So
36 at Beaver
one
State,
thing that I
16th at
just
Preserve.
noticed, Heimberg's
No,
not playing.
he sure is not.
Hmm.
He also, I don't believe he's registered for the European Open either.
I was. Oh boy. So
Casey, are you eating the Casey's gummy worms? Just
probably,
curious.
probably.
Just wondering.
Uh, but um,
Totally forgot about those.
hmm,
Enjoy
Isaac
while you
Robinson
can.
is 27th in Pro Tour points,
Mhm.
so he would actually make the playoffs.
Yes. Yes, he would. Which is thoroughly impressive when you consider how many events he's actually played this year.
Right? That's what I'm saying. Like, he's definitely like he's. I'll give you dark horse for this one, but like by the end of the season, I don't think we can call him that anymore.
No, especially now that he's on the full time tour boat
Yeah,
now and whatnot.
I know. I'm excited about it.
Yeah,
Um,
well, he's my dark horse until he can't be anymore.
I'm not against it. I think it's a great pick. Um, I'm gonna go with. I don't want to go. I thought this was. Um, I'm gonna swap it up just for the sake of things.
If you're not gonna have him winning, I feel like he can't be in your top three at all because I just got that feeling he's either gonna win or he's just not gonna be relevant.
Maybe. But I'm going to go with Ricky winning. Um, and then I'm going to have Corey Ellis in second. And I'm going to have Simon Lizotte in third. And I am going to pick for my dark horse. I think I can do this. Let me make sure that he's at least past your guy.
I'm gonna
Absolutely.
pick Ezra Ader. No, I'm just kidding.
Andrew Marweed.
Ooh, I'll allow it.
He's 48th in Pro Tour points.
That's accurate, but he also did take a second place, a tie for first last year at this event.
Yep.
So
But last year's
that's
different
the
than this
question
year.
mark. But like I said, that's the question mark. But I said I would allow it, so I
Yep.
don't know why we're arguing.
World ranking is 34.
I mean, he just hasn't been good this year. I'll be honest.
He really hasn't. It's kind of been upsetting.
Questionable.
That's crazy. You know what Isaac Robinson's world ranking is?
But
25th.
well,
He's
yeah,
already cracked the top 25.
well, I mean, look at what Marwood has done this season. 49th, 39th, 23rd, 20th, 27th, 56th, 37, 32, 33. He has not even cracked the top 10 once.
No, I mean I
So
get
and
it.
the thing you have to remember too about the power rankings is the power rankings that UDisc uses, the world rankings, is 100% based off of direct matchups. And then it is all added together and divided, and that's how they get their totals. So when you haven't even cracked the top 10 once and you have a player who's cracked the top 10 on multiple occasions, instantly, that's all that matters at that point.
Yep.
Because all they do, if you guys don't know about how UDIS calculates their world rankings, is they take your player that they're doing the rankings of, and then they go individually against Ricky, Paul, and go all the way down the top 100 list essentially, and say, does he win this matchup? And it's either a yes or it's a no. And then there's basically they add a point, and then it gets divided into a certain way, and that's how they get their calculations, and that's how they get their world rankings. So top 10 finishes are so important to anybody who wants to be high on their rankings list because of how it's calculated, because it's 100% based off of predicting a direct matchup.
Right. And I'm with it. All right. Well, that's that for our MPO. What about for FPO?
For the FPO,
Yep, the FPO.
the FPO.
I guess I'll go first on this one.
Sure.
So for my FPO picks, I'm gonna take Valerie Mondahano winning.
Okay.
Um, um, I am going to take I want to, but I don't want to. I'm gonna take. That's hard. That's so hard
Sorry,
to do.
video watchers. I'm tired.
I'm gonna take Owen Scoggins second.
Ooh, pretty colors.
Yes. I'm gonna take. I'm gonna take Missy third. I don't have Cat
Okay.
or Paige in my top three.
I mean,
And then my dark horse. I don't know if you will allow this or not, but I was gonna take Alexis Mondahano.
sure. I don't have a qualm with that.
All right.
top 10 finishes in FPO aren't quite as like coveted as they are in MPO.
Yeah.
In FPO, the equivalent of a top 10 is like a top 5 in FPO. So, and she doesn't have a whole lot of those. I'll give it to you.
Okay.
I'm gonna go the other way around, and you might see, well, wow, that's a real typical pick, and you even defended yourself. You're like, I don't have Paige and I don't have Cat. Well, I'm gonna go with Cat.
Yep.
Um, I'm going to say that she finally breaks this weird rut, and she puts together 3 solid rounds in a row. She doesn't have a dip in a round. She doesn't have 3 mediocre rounds in a row. She's going to have 3 solid rounds in a row.
All right.
Um, and just
Who
kind of
else?
break that mold. I'm gonna go with Macy down there in second.
All right. I almost picked Macy.
No particular reason, but Kentucky's a little bit closer to home for her. Probably was able to get there a few days earlier than some of the other tournaments that she goes to. Um, and then, gosh, I was gonna choose Own for third, but I'm gonna leave her off because of you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go Cat Merch.
All right. Well, I'm glad you didn't take my other pick.
Your other pick.
Yes.
You have another pick?
Yeah, in my mind.
Oh.
Yeah. I
Oh.
was thinking Holly Finley would do really well at this course.
Mm, my eyes did pause over her name for a second.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. Speaking of Holly Finley, I'm gonna go Hallin Handley as my dark horse.
Yeah, she was almost my dark horse. I just her being a lefty, I was just trying to remember the course and seeing how hard it would be to
Yeah.
to manage that, and I just could not think of the course, so I kind of I strayed away from it.
So there's a couple of holes that she just really needs to protect herself on, but there's a lot of holes in Idlewild that actually set up very well for lefties, if I remember it correctly.
That's good. I hope she
Now
takes advantage of it.
the only thing that I can say is the course I'm imagining in terms of how well it sets up for lefties is the MPO course. I don't remember the layout fully for FPO,
Yeah,
and how it plays out comparatively to righty versus lefty matchups. But I still think she could put together some good rounds out there,
I would say so.
one way or another.
I think so too. But all right, so there you have it. That's our predictions
So
for the
who's the other name
Idlewild.
you were thinking of? Now I need to know.
What do you mean?
You said you're glad I didn't take your other pick, and now I gotta know who it is.
Holly Finley.
Oh, that's right. I don't know why I don't know. Paige Shoe probably would have been a good dark horse too.
I know. Yeah, but Paige Shue is still one of my all-time favorites. She was the world champion. I got to watch. She was the first world champion that I actually watched. Um, when I started in 2018,
Yeah.
that's when she won, and I was like, I want every disc that she has.
Every single one.
And I got a Ballista Pro. I got a Sheriff. I was putting with the Pures. And I had some
Yeah.
Wardens. It was fine.
I
But
can dig it.
then she went off, had a kid, started her own family, and
Did family things.
did family things. And
That's
now
about that.
she's coming back, and I'm excited.
I'm here for it.
Me too. But I think
Um,
that's pretty much all we got. I was.
no, 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 no,
Oh
no.
no, we got to talk about that.
We have to talk about it.
Okay. So, basically, if you haven't heard the news by now, they released earlier today the Disc Golf Pro Tour has signed an agreement, so to speak, with the Kingdom NFT. And what this is they're going to be doing the Idlewild live through the metaverse. Um,
They
so
call it a. Go ahead.
they call it a what?
Go ahead.
All
I'll
right.
get to it.
So basically, what this is if you have a VR system, it might work pretty cool. If not, it really wouldn't benefit you too much other than just sitting at your own computer, um, and be like you're playing a game while watching disc golf. Um, but their release video, the promo video, I thought they could have done much better. Um, I it was it looked like an ad on the disc golf pro tour is what it looked like.
Yeah.
Um, but you know, there's something to do with the NFT part of it, and I read into it, but I didn't get it. Um, Mainly, it's just going to be a live studio version in the metaverse of a disc golf pro tour.
Yeah. Yeah. So to give you an idea of what he's basically talking about is what they call it is a digital arena.
Yeah,
And basically the concept is that you get a bunch of people who get all in here and then it becomes a little more interactive and you have, for lack of a better term, you have merch, but it's digital. So you could buy like a digital jersey of your favorite player and you can equip it to your avatar and so on and so forth. If you think of like if you took your Me character from the old Wii's or your Nintendo
yeah,
systems that they have, and you put it into VR, and you could buy merch for your Me, branded merch, whether it's Pro Tour merch, maybe even they're gonna have silly stuff, a Ricky Wysocki jersey or a Simon Lizotte jersey, or who knows, and you could put that on your character, if you will, and then it becomes like a digital meeting place. But it's so funny to me because I'm not going to say this was a good move. I'm not going to say it's a bad move, but I will say this has been so poorly received by the general population of disc golf. It's actually been hysterical to watch. Um, so I'm just gonna kind of go through like some of the like quote tweets and some of the retweets and stuff that was happening. Over at Hitting the Lines, the Hitting the Lines are he tweeted, "So it's a fancy live stream?" Question mark. That's it. That's it. That's the tweet. It's, um, Somebody said, "Great news, everyone! I checked the Facebook comment section about the announcement, and they hate it just as much as we do here on Twitter." Oh my gosh. Okay. Um, for anybody who knows, if you guys follow any of like big dyers who spend a lot of time on Twitter, Andy Adalis, um, he just posted a GIF of Ron Swanson throwing his computer in the trash. If you
yeah.
guys have ever seen Parks and Rec, you'll understand, or just go check it out because it's hysterical. And let's see, Steven Silver's posted, "If this means all the NFT bros will be their own exclusive live chat with their Xbox Live avatars and not in the normal chat, maybe it's not such a bad thing after all."
Yeah.
Not really. I don't know. I mean, if you guys are listening or even here in the chat right now, give us your take. I'd be interesting to read what you guys have to say about it. I'm gonna go through a couple other things here. Um,
If look, I'll put it out there right now. If I have even just one person that listens to this by Idlewild, okay, in the live chat or in the audio, to reach out to me, um, on the Instagram or the Twitter, and say that you want to do it, I will join it, and I will do it with you. Um, I feel like I need to see this so I can come next week prepared. um,
I need to know how it plays out.
I
I'm not
want to
buying a
know.
ticket.
It's only
Apparently
$2.
we're supposed to have free access though as TGN
Well, I
subscribers.
almost bought it today,
Yeah, I
and
don't
it
know.
didn't even ask me; it just said $2. So,
Yeah, I don't know.
but really, $2 is not bad. That it's $2.
Right.
But do I have to
Somebody,
download an app? Do I just get to go into the link? Like
yeah, what's going on?
so. I will
somebody
I will
somebody
try to
tweeted
figure it
it.
out.
Disc golf was cooler when it wasn't.
Disc golf was cooler when it wasn't cool. Oh,
So somebody's like, "Can someone please explain why this is cool?" Question mark. It's, that's it. That's all
but
it was.
yep. So if somebody
Now
wants to join me in the metaverse, please reach out. Let me know. Do not let me go alone. I would love to go with any listener slash follower.
I'm not gonna join you. I'm gonna let
I
you tell me
already
about your
know.
experience.
I already know. I
I
didn't
will
even
not be there.
ask you because I knew.
I know you. Do you want to join me in the metaverse? Uh,
No,
no.
but it's okay. Look, look. Yes, the metaverse, Shane. Disc golf is now coming to the metaverse.
Welcome
So
to the metaverse.
yeah, I'm.
My
What
biggest
happens
thing
if
is,
I can't come out? What if I'm not back for next Tuesday?
oh my gosh. Okay, listen. Okay, you've ever seen Ready Player One or read the book?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've watched
The
the movie,
entire
read the book.
so the the entire like spoiler alert for anybody who's not read the book Ready Player Two, which is being adapted. Go ahead and turn it off now if you don't want to hear about this, but I'm gonna just tell you right now. Ready Player Two is basically just Ready Player One, but with a headset that makes it so that it just connects directly to the neurons in your brain.
Yep.
The whole plot of the book is literally that an artificial intelligence takes it over and locks everybody in using their headset so you can't escape. And the plot twist is that the system is designed that it will literally cause your brain to fire to extinction and kill you if you don't take it off within 12 hours. You have a 12-hour time limit. If you use it any longer, it literally fries your brain. So the whole plot is that, the people from the first book or movie have to go and do this crazy search to save everybody. And Ethan can't hear me anymore because, well, he took off his headset because he's obviously very weary about what I just said. But
I'm back.
this just
I
sounds like
survived.
one of the first steps to that whole debacle.
Yeah, I
I don't
mean,
know.
a lot of people
I'm
are worried about the metaverse in general, but I
my
am.
biggest thing is it's just like it doesn't have a good reputation already because it's set up as a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah,
So
this
I'm not
is
saying
this
that
is
there
why
aren't
I
good companies in the
right.
scene and there aren't people who are trying to do something good or really cool, but they don't have a good reputation, and there's a reason for that.
Yeah,
And I just think it's a really weird move at this point in time in where disc golf is for Jeff Spring to bring them into this.
yeah.
And
It was different. I don't see the Kingdom paying the Pro Tour. I truly don't. The only thing that they offered now, the what they are doing is great. Okay, because all of the ticket sales, 100% of the ticket sales.
profits. If I read it correctly, it's only the profits. So
It said 100% of ticket
what's
sales.
it?
Now, when you get in there and buy stuff, that doesn't go to Uplay. Okay. But that's what they're banking on. It's kind of like the Fortnite motive of, hey, come play this game and then buy the skins. But what they're donating to is Uplay, which is
A portion of all ticketing proceeds will be donated to Uplay.
what I
That is a
read.
direct quote from dgpt.com.
That is
A
so weird
portion.
because on their Twitter, um, on Kingdom.
Yeah, so I'm assuming that's what it means is a profit. So whatever it costs for them to run this event as it is, however it goes, I don't know. I'm assuming say if it costs if they're, you're paying $2 for a ticket, it costs $1 for them to actually serve you in doing so based on the
Mm-hmm.
whatever, then $1 is what's going to be donated. So it's no different than buying going to a bake sale and all proceeds go. Well, yeah, proceeds still is defined as whatever you sell it for minus the cost to make it. So I'm
Right.
assuming that's what it
Okay.
means, and that's why they're differentiating in portion.
Yeah, it does say.
Um,
It says it doesn't say a portion. It says 100% of proceeds. from ticket sales for the upcoming at Disc Golf Pro Tour LWS Open at Idlewild Metaverse event on July 10th will be donated to You Play Disc Golf, a 501c3 organization focused on growing the sport nationally. Eventbrite link to tickets in our bio.
Yeah.
Um, but what they are doing tomorrow to help promote this is they're number one doing a meet and greet with Disc Golf Pro Tour legend at Saki Bomb 13. So Ricky
Yeah.
Wysocki will be in the Kingdome uh, for a meet and greet to preview the Idlewild LWS Open at Idlewild tomorrow, July 6th at 2:30 Pacific Standard Time. So there's gonna be people in there.
Oh yeah.
That
100%.
that's him being on board with crypto, NFTs, meta, like that helps. And I would say Ricky probably has quite a bit of pull on this, if I had to guess.
Sure.
Um, so who knows? It could be something really cool, and everybody's just kind of scooping it off to the side because of how bad of a name metaverse NFTs have already kind of created for themselves.
Yeah.
So
Because you think about it and you think of like what happens in crypto and this that and the other in terms of direct crypto, Bitcoin got that label very early on that it was obviously a scheme and it was never going to go anywhere.
and then it
Well,
went
it
somewhere.
didn't turn out to be that way,
Yeah.
right? It didn't turn out to be that way. My problem is that NFTs are kind of the opposite. It was really, really cool, and then it turned out to be a scheme,
Right.
and now everybody's really weary about it.
So
And that's
what?
where I'm like, I can't say anything about Kingdom. I don't know anything about them as a corporation. I don't know who they are. I don't know what they stand for. I just know that there's bad history with NFTs in general.
Yes,
So
I
that is
totally
my
agree.
point and take. And that's also for anybody who's like, well, this sounds like something really cool. I don't know why everybody's bashing it. You have to remember that everybody's going to look at it from that similar point of view. This is
Yes,
something that has a bad reputation, and people are going to look at that bad reputation. That's what they're going to see, and that's why it's
exactly.
being so poorly received.
Yes,
Now the question is how well is this going to perform given the poor reception we've seen so far? And then the other question that I have is, for me personally, I think Jeff Spring should be focusing more on how can he grow disc golf into becoming a national sport, whereas this partnership feels like we're taking a step backwards because given what I know about Kingdom, which again is not a lot, we are going to be pulling Kingdom up in existence by giving them extra exposure, not the other way around. It's going to give us minor exposure to a small group of people when, most of the focus, this year has been getting Pro Tour in front of big audiences. So
yeah,
it feels like a weird step backwards. And I think that's a little bit of a red flag for a lot of people because that's a red flag for me personally. But again, we don't know the details behind this partnership either. We're
right.
not there. We're not in that room. We don't have any idea what they're being
One
what they're
thing,
actually
one
talking
thing that
about.
I will add though is what they have primarily done is UFC fights and
Right.
like boxing matches, and supposedly they've been received very well. Um, as far as bringing a sport to the same stage, I don't know if the viewing will be as intense, as something like UFC or boxing, because I could actually see it kind of working there. Um,
Yeah.
we'll just have to see, kind of how it's received. I would assume that it will be ridiculed and made fun of uh, for a while, but that's the reason that I want to check it out. Simply for
Yeah.
the fact of I want to know what everybody's talking about.
Well, yeah,
Um,
and it's really hard to judge because
it is.
with the outside looking in, I see a lot of people who have said Kingdom's really cool. Some of the things that they do, they've got a good concept going, this, that, and the other. And then there's another side of the community who's like, I've kind of been a part of Kingdom before, and let me tell you, it's a really dead community. It's the same 10 people who end up to every event, and that's pretty much it. And then the Discord community is literally dead. Nobody even talks in the Discord anymore. It's literally just a dead channel now, and this, that, and blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
blah. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. I'm not going to make any judgments that it's going to play out poorly or play out well.
Yeah.
It very likely that it will just
I'm
burn out and we never hear about it again.
that is
But it's
very
also
possible.
possible it's also possible the exact opposite happens and it turns out to be something so cool that people who have been bashing it for the entire day end up checking it out because people really liked it.
Yeah, and that's you know, because it's getting one chance. Okay, that for
You got
me,
one shot.
it's got one shot. If it's cool, I will say that. I will give my honest feedback. I am a very open-minded person. All right. Um,
I'm gonna have to
however,
create a new fake internet persona so that I can join in. I just gotta
um,
make sure nobody knows who I am.
you're just embarrassed. But so
If you see
basically,
Doodlebob195 in the chat, it's
it's
not me.
not me. Yeah, totally not me. But yeah, so that's I don't know. So please, somebody out there, audio listeners, live watchers, hit me up. Do not make me go through this alone.
Good luck.
Good luck. Yeah. I can imagine the messages already that's about to roll in, be like, you're gonna die. Stupid.
What a joke.
Yeah. But it's
Oh my
okay.
gosh.
I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna see. I need to know that way I can give my honest feedback for us.
Hey,
I'm
look,
willing to take that
the
plunge.
thing is, yeah, and as for me personally, I say it about everything, whether it's food or a disc or a sport. I'm willing to try everything at least once.
Yep.
But I'm the kind of person who needs a good review first. I need to know that it goes well enough for me to want to try it first. But if you come back on Tuesday next week and you're like, dude, it was awesome,
Right.
I'll give it a go next time around. I will.
And watch it not have
On my
another.
honor. On my honor, if it goes well, I will give it a go.
All right. You heard it here first. So I think that's about it. That about wraps up the show. Um,
It's
if we
bedtime.
if we get out of here in about 27 seconds, we'll be able to get this up tomorrow. So here we go. So thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks for all the audio listeners all around the world. We have reached a total of 49 countries. Thank y'all so much. Um, that's amazing. We reached more countries than we have states. We are at 29 states and 49 countries.
Woo-woo.
Um, but that is awesome. Thank you so much for joining us, listening, interacting with us. Any of our socials, we are going through a rebranding phase very soon. And that is some exciting, exciting, exciting stuff happening. We've also got some new videos that we have filmed that will be coming out on our channel, YouTube channel, very soon. So we have also dedicated a link tree, and we will get that out to all of our socials as soon as we get the rebranding done. It will be much easier to reach all of our socials. Do you have anything else to say at the end of that?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank my power and internet providers for not going out during that storm. We might have had some tech issues, but you know what? At least I didn't disappear
Yeah, you
completely, and we got a
didn't.
whole
You
episode
did.
done.
Yeah. Yep. You
So
didn't.
shout out to y'all. Uh, Shout out to my mom, just because. No,
Just
no
because.
reason, just because. And also, I have to do this. We don't have a choice. Shout out to both of our wives. We told them we would do
Oh
this, and now
yes,
we
I
have to.
thought that
We have
was
to do
gonna
this.
be in the intro, but the intro got so scuffed.
So
I am sorry.
yeah, everything got screwed up on the beginning, but we'll have to clip it and ship it somewhere else. Shout out to our wives. We went out this weekend on the 4th actually, and we had some time to kill before we went to our dinner together, and we decided to go play a round of disc golf. And we got out there and we went duos and couple
Yeah.
for best shot doubles. And let me tell you, both of us, both of us got carried by our wives.
Absolutely.
It's not even a joke. I mean, my wife Erica literally hit 100-foot throw in
More
to
than
win us a
once.
hole. To win us a hole, and one of them, well, I wouldn't say all of them were 100 feet. She had 100-foot throw in and a couple of at least circle two throw ins.
Yeah.
That just, I mean, shout out because wow, she outplayed me by a long shot,
Yeah, she
and
was
it
making
wasn't
a
even
Luna
close.
and a Malta look very good. They
Oh
should
yeah,
hire
she really
Discraft
did.
should hire her. Um
Well, Discraft should hire both of them because I mean, your wife Made
Throws the
a
passion.
passion look really good. Maybe she's gonna have to split a deal with Latitude because she's making Grace look really good too.
Yeah, she throws the Grace a
Let me
lot
tell
too.
you, for example, if you want to know just how hard we got carried, there were like 2 or 3 different holes that have a double mando on this course where both of us missed the double mando and both of our wives made it.
Yeah, every time.
It
Yeah, it just it. Yep.
we would have been 8 over on this course if it weren't for them.
Yep. You're right. You are so right. All right. So yeah, shout out to them. And shout out to all of you watching. Thank you again. We appreciate you all, and we will see you all on the next hole. Peace.
Peace.